All right, guys, it is Thursday when you're watching this, which means it is book club. I'm literally filming this mostly in real time. It's Wednesday night, hence why I'm in my pajamas. But we are going to talk about The Silent Patient. I'm not going to lie, I should have filmed this a lot sooner. That's literally why I wait to read these to like the week before the questions video, because I want it fresh in my mind. But sometimes it screws me in the end because I'm literally reading the book and rushing it and not enjoying it days before the questions video is due, like the review video. So I said, no, we're just going to read it right now. And I read this at the beginning of the month, and I've already read 2 books since. So it's not as fresh in my mind, but let's get into it. I know you guys love this book. We had a lot of people join book club this month. I cannot wait to see what you guys are thinking about it. I know already last week, me and Charmaine, the week before our review, or 2 weeks before, we just do a video just with the questions, and some people were already answering on those. So number 1 is the story beginning with the revelation that Alicia murdered her husband. Why do you think the author made this admission at the start? And I think because he wanted it to be a different style book. Instead of whodunit, it's you already know who did it. It's why did they do it? And I feel like that's why this book was so popular, because everyone was like, why? Why did she shoot her husband and never talk again? And I really feel like that's why this flew off the shelves. Like the title for this book is absolutely amazing. It makes you want to read it once you hear like the storyline. And I think that's honestly the main reason. It was a great hook. This author is extremely smart. It's written by Michael Diaz, if I'm saying that correctly. So it's as simple as that for number 1. Honestly, I think it was to hook us in. Like I said, it's a twist on who done it, because you already know who did it. You want to know why they did it. It's a different who, what, where, why question, like I used to tell my kids in the elementary school. Number 2, Alicia's, sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I don't know if it's Alicia or Alyssa, but I feel like Alyssa's always, maybe it is Alyssa. I don't know. Anyway, diary plays a key role in the book. What purpose do you think it serves? Does your perception of Alyssa change the more you read? I think the diary was there so we could hear her voice, because obviously she's silent. You don't know what she's thinking because she's not saying anything throughout most of this book. So with her diary, we're able to get a glimpse into her and see what she's thinking and the kind of person she is. I think my perception definitely changed, but not until, obviously it's going to have spoilers, not until like the scene where you find out she really is the one that killed Gabriel. Because I think that's why so many people were like, I need to read this book, I need to read this book, I need to read this book. Because part of you wonders, maybe she didn't kill Gabriel, because she never admitted to being guilty. Everyone's just assuming she's guilty, and then she never spoke again. So did she drive herself crazy because she killed her husband? Or did she see something that night that shook her to her core? And that's what I honestly thought was going to be the book. I thought the book was going to have, everyone keeps saying, oh, the book has a huge twist you don't see coming. So I thought the twist was going to be she didn't kill her husband. I thought the twist was going to be like, it's somebody else. But so the whole book, I was seeing her as an innocent woman, to be honest with you guys. But then when she actually does kill Gabriel, you're like, oh, she's not an innocent woman. You kind of understand why she did it. Not that that was right in any form, shape, or form. But I don't think she's like an evil person, but she's definitely not the innocent person I thought she was while I was reading the book. Number 3, at first, why do you think Theo was so determined to work with Alyssa? I'm just going to go with Alyssa. In what ways was Theo an unreliable narrator? So I think he was so determined to work with her because I think he was like a God complex, like a narcissist. Like I think he wanted to be like, I'm the one that got her to talk. He wanted to be seen as this like great therapist, like write journals about him, scientific journals, you know what I mean? That's what I kind of took it as. I think it was more about himself than actually helping her, if that makes sense. And then in what ways was Theo an unreliable narrator? He looked at her with very innocent eyes too, I would say. I don't know if he thought necessarily that she was innocent, but he kind of had like an obsession with her. Like he found her so beautiful and he was just like captivated by her. So I feel like he was not a neutral party. And whether it's you're on a jury, you know, trying to determine if someone's guilty or innocent, or you're a therapist, you're supposed to be neutral. You're not supposed to have feelings, negative, positive, loving, hatred. You're supposed to be a neutral person. So, and he definitely wasn't that. So I think for that reason, he was a very unreliable narrator. Number 4, what do you think the purpose of showing us Alicia's interactions with her brother-in-law Max? So my thought, honestly, was this was the other thing I was thinking, that she was the killer, but it was like an accident. Part of me was like, oh my God, she thought it was Max that walked into the house that day. That's literally what I thought. I was like, she thought it was Max, and that's why she killed him. So I thought that's why, at first, they were explaining her relationship with Max. Because you find out that Max was like secretly in love with her, that he was like a little abusive towards her. He would push himself on her when his brother wasn't around. I was thinking kind of like, you guys ever watch Legally Blonde, where the daughter killed her father, and the stepmother's being accused for it, and then you find out it's the stepmother's court case and the daughter's on the stand, and she admits to killing her father, and she said, I thought it was you walking through the door. And then she's like, I love Legally Blonde. I just watched it recently. But literally, that's literally what I thought of. I said, oh my God, she thought she was killing Max and she killed Gabriel. So I thought that's why they were telling us the relationship about Max. But obviously that's not the case. She knew she was killing Gabriel. She did kill Gabriel. I think the thing with Max, I honestly don't know why it goes into so much. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's to throw you off. Maybe it's so you think exactly what I thought. Definitely tell me down below. Did you guys think right from the beginning that she definitely killed Gabriel? Or did you think she was innocent and someone else was involved? Or did you think she was like, it was like a death by accident and that she was like semi-innocent? Because obviously, in my story, the way I thought, she was still a murderer. She was still killing somebody, but it was more out of self-defense. That could be why there obviously was a twist in the book, and he wants us to think in all these different directions. So that could have been why he mentioned Max, because you start to wonder these other characters and their relationship with her, you know, and why she did what she did, or did she mean to do what she did? And then this is kind of like a 2-part question. And then it says, what about Jean-Felix? So what do you think the purpose of showing us Alicia's interactions were with Jean-Felix? And I know it talks a little bit about, like, at first you're like wondering if Jean-Felix is in love with her, and then you realize it's not that he's in love with her. He's in love with her paintings. And I think that was more just to show that that relationship was hurtful. It was not a true friendship because he was using her. He was using her for her art, for her connections, for money. And just like the whole thing with Max, you see her being abused. You see her being hurt. Then you find out her mother died when she was young, and they think it was a suicide attempt, and she was in the car. Like, that is gonna F with somebody's head. Like, in a car accident that killed your mother, they think it was done on purpose. So your mother was not only going to kill herself, but she was going to kill you in the car with her. So I think it's basically just to give us background for you to understand why she not clicked. What am I trying to say? Why she did what she did. Like snapped. There you go. Why she snapped and did what she did. That's the word I'm looking for. Number 5. Alicia, I'm struggling over here, seems to have had a difficult childhood and no real support system. What do you think about her and her actions? So that's literally, I just talked about this. You find out she was being abused by Max. You find out she was being used by Jean-Felix. You find out that she was, her mother committed suicide with her in the car. She survived, her mother didn't. That is a lot. And then the night that she kills her husband, I think Theo mentions, right, that Gabriel's with the wife. Maybe not. I can't remember, because if she did know that, that's already another straw on the camel's back. But I know what really like did it was basically he gave the option, like he was like, okay, only one of you need to die. And Gabriel didn't say me. Gabriel didn't say kill me, let her live, where she was willing to do that for him. So that snapped in her, because it was, again, this, it was almost like she was in the car with her mom again. Someone was willing to let her die. So I kind of understand why she did what she did. I still don't think I would have pulled the trigger, but I don't have the background that she has. You know what I mean? So, like I said, like I said, she wasn't completely innocent like I thought she was, but she's also not as like evil as it makes it seem. Like, oh, just one day she shot her husband. You find out there's a lot more to it than that. So, she's a very complex character, that is for sure. Number 6, from the beginning to the end of the book, Theo insists that he only ever wanted to help Alicia. Do you think his claim is sincere? Do you think he realizes how wrong he is? No, his claim is not sincere. Even before you find out what he did, he did what he did. Oh my God, I can't even talk today. It already didn't seem sincere. Because like I said, to me, it looked like he had a God complex. It looked like he wanted to be, I want to be the one that saved her. I want to be the reason she talked. I want there to be scientific journals about me. That's just the attitude he gave me, at least. You guys let me know down below if you felt that same way about him. Then when you find out that he's the one that provided the gun, he didn't expect her to do it, but he basically gave her the opportunity. Gabriel was completely tied up because of him, and he basically said only one of you has to die. Gabriel didn't say kill me, save my wife. He said, and he was a coward, and then he decides, it was a joke. I don't think he was going to kill anybody that night. I don't know what he was going to do. Clearly he needs some mental help too, and it's sad that he's a therapist. But he shoots, like, what is it, the ceiling? I know he lets off like one shoot or something like that, drops the gun, unties Alicia, and runs out the door. So he definitely set her up. I don't think he actually expected her to do it, but he definitely set her up, and because of that, he feels extremely guilty. So that's why what he's doing is not sincere. Even, I didn't think it was sincere even before all that, but once you learn all that, it's definitely not sincere. And then, do you think he realizes how wrong he is? I don't think so. I want to say yes. I want to, like, even Alicia, she's the one that killed Gabriel, not Theo. But I find Theo to be more of a guilty man. We know, obviously, he ends up killing Alicia. I don't know if they ever pronounce her dead. I don't think so. But she's, like, in a coma because he put, what was it, a morphine drip or something? He put some kind of shot something up in her IV or something like that. Everything he did was just so sick and twisted, and no, I don't think he realizes how wrong he was. Let me know what you guys think, because if he realized how wrong he was, I don't think he would have killed her. I think he would have hoped for the best, hoped she didn't say anything or admit himself or something, but I don't think he felt any guilt whatsoever. Number 7, when Alicia recognizes Theo as the man stalking her and from the night her husband was murdered, why do you think she didn't tell anyone? I wondered that too. Part of me wonders it's because she was still not talking, obviously. So maybe it was like she was not talking for, maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe she just didn't not want to talk. Maybe she physically still couldn't talk. Maybe she was still in some kind of psychosis or some kind of like mental fog where she couldn't get it out. Or maybe she thought she would use it to her advantage because he was masked, so she never saw his face. So she could get away with it and be like, let me see what he has to say. Let me see why he's here, out of curiosity. She didn't think she was in total danger because she knew that he never saw her face, but she recognized his voice and his smell. And she knew it was him, so she figured, let me work the situation to my advantage. That's what I think. And then, what do you think about her story about that night? So her and Theo talk. It's one of her therapy sessions. And she lies. And she says that the person who tied her up, she knows it's Theo. She said, the person that tied me up was the person that killed my husband. So at first you're like, is this story true? But then, because I'm reading it, I said, oh my God, maybe she's right. Maybe that this really did happen. But then I'm like, wait, how was she untied? Because they found her untied. So then you find out she did kill her husband. All that, though, really did happen. Like I said, Theo untied her, left her the gun, and walked away. Maybe that's another reason why she didn't tell anyone. Maybe she thought the story would be way too unbelievable, because she did have a past where she said someone was following her and someone was watching her, and it turned out to be untrue. She was on medication. No one believed her, sadly, and he was like a productive member of society. He was like a therapist. He had a good job. So I feel like people would have been like, she's crazy. Like, no. Why would this random man come to her house and do that? Especially if she doesn't know that Theo's wife was cheating with her husband. Then they want to understand why he was doing that. And he is just a crazy person, even though I still think he's just a crazy person. So that's probably another reason why she didn't tell anyone. But back to it. So what do you think about her story? I think I don't think she thinks it's true. Either a part of her really thinks that that's the truth, because the mind can do a lot of things. It can block out a lot of memories when you don't want to relive things. So either she really does think that's the true story in her mind, or she was just trying to fuck with Theo. Like, let's be honest. She was trying to play with him and see what he was going to do and what he was going to say. Because like I said, I think she recognized him. She did recognize him. Not I think. She recognized him. She says it in her diary. But I think she didn't confirm that to the world. Like, she didn't tell anybody because she wanted to see what he had to say. She wanted to play around with him. She wanted to see his side of the story. So she had to tell a fake story. She couldn't well, I guess she could have told the truth, and Theo just wouldn't have thought it was her. I don't know. Honestly, I think it was just like a cat and mouse game, and she wanted to play with them. Number 8. Were you surprised by the ending? Did you think Theo got away with murdering Alicia? So I don't want to say I wasn't surprised, because I was. I like guessed it literally like the page before it happened. I was like, wait a minute. Is Theo thinking of the past? Is he the one that did it? And then I turned the page and he's in our garden. And I'm like, okay. So I was shocked, but I wasn't like shocked. Does that make sense? Like, I honestly think I would have been, I don't know. I think I would have preferred the ending if she really didn't kill Gabriel. Like, if it really had been somebody else, and this poor woman that everyone thinks is crazy is really an innocent woman. Sometimes I feel like I wish I had been like the Legally Blonde ending and she thought it was somebody else. Like, I'd still contemplating. Like, it's been like, I don't know, 3 weeks since I read this book, I think, and I still contemplate with that all the time. I don't dislike the ending in any way. I don't know, but I don't know if I liked it either. Theo's just a whack job. And I'm gonna say, since reading this, I have stuck to some romance novels. I think this just got in my head a little bit. It's just sad to think that people are that sick and twisted, because there are people, sadly, that are that sick and twisted. And then he just made it worse by killing her. Like, what he did was already awful, but at least if he like didn't kill her, because he never killed Theo. Even though he put her in that situation, he did not put the gun to Theo and kill him. So he was not a murderer. What he did was wrong, but he was not a killer. And then him killing Alicia was like the nail that hit the coffin. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm like, wow, he really is a shitty person. Like, at least if he hadn't done that, maybe he would have had a little bit of saving grace. But no, he killed her. I didn't think he was going to get away with it. I don't think that would have been a good ending to the book. I'm glad that the ending is the cop showing up to his home. I wish we would have seen Kathy's reaction to it. I wish we had seen, especially Kathy realizing that it was Gabriel. Like, oh my God, he knew I cheated on him. I'm not going to lie. I wish we got more Kathy. And I know people talked about that. I don't know if it was the comments in the book club, or I had done like some online research. It might have been that too, but I would have loved to know more about Kathy. Oh, there's a whole part in the back of this where he talks, the author talks, and that's what it was. I know someone had said, I wish we knew more about Kathy, but he said he wanted to leave it vague on purpose because he wanted the story to be more about Alicia and Theo, which, trust me, 100% makes sense. But I could see like a prequel to this. Because Alicia, it doesn't never says she dies. Maybe that's why he made it vague. Because he did say maybe he would visit Theo again. Maybe not Theo, but he did definitely say something like about psychiatry, like a psychiatric hospital again. Maybe she wakes up, or maybe she does really die, and then you have to see how Max feels about that, and then Kathy finds out, and you see Theo go to jail. That could be a whole nother book, honestly. But no, I did not think he was going to get away with murdering Alicia. I mean, there was still a chance, but I was hoping he wasn't, and I'm glad he wasn't. And I don't think the story would have been as good if he had, because I freaking hate this guy. How do you guys feel about Theo? I can't stand him. So I was like, no, he can't get away with it. Number 9. If you were to make the book into a movie, who would you cast in the main roles and why? Okay, so Charmaine gave a list this time, and she wants us to pick actors and actresses for Alicia, Theo, Gabriel, Kathy, Jean-Felix, and Max. So I tell you guys, there's no rhyme or reason to who I pick. As I read the book, I know everybody's different. When I first mentioned this, someone's like, I could never imagine people while I read. To me, that's weird. I mean, to each their own. But I imagine it in my head like it's a movie. It's just how I naturally do it. I don't know. So my head just randomly starts imagining people. So again, no rhyme or reason. These people, some people won't even fit the ages anymore. You know what I mean? But I don't imagine that. Sometimes I'll imagine their younger version of themselves, if that makes sense. So for Alicia, I imagined, this is kind of funny because it's a really, really old show, the daughter from The Nanny. I don't even know her name, but I imagined her right here. If you guys ever watched The Nanny, I loved The Nanny, and this is literally who I imagined. If you guys want to see what she looked like before, that was her in The Nanny. It started, she was like a teenager. By the time it ended, she was like in her early 20s, because The Nanny lasted a little while. But yes, this is literally who I imagined as Alicia. And then for let's go in order. For Theo, I imagined Kiefer Sutherland. I haven't even watched a lot of his movies, but I don't know why. For some reason, he popped in my head. And this is him, if you don't know who he is. But that is who I imagined for Theo. Don't ask me why, because I don't think that guy looks twisted or anything. He's a good actor. Probably played the role really well. For Gabriel, don't ask me why. This guy would be way too old now. I did find him very attractive back in the day. Maybe that's why. Because I know Gabriel's supposed to be like this good-looking, like, man. He's supposed to be like a photographer. But I imagined Steven Weber, which I didn't even know his name either, but I imagined the guy from Wings. He's even in more recent things now, but I used to love Wings back in the day. And this is him right here. So this is who I imagined as Gabriel. And then as Kathy, I don't know if I imagined her because Kathy and Katie, like, I don't know why she popped in my head, but she did. So this is just what I'm going to show you. And it was Katie Sagal. So, and she would definitely be too old now. She's an older woman from Married with Children in the 1970s. That's her Married with Children character right there. That's her now. Honestly, she looks even more gorgeous now, in my opinion. But that is literally who I picked. But she's literally like in her 60s. So I imagine kind of like a younger version of Katie Sagal, sorry. Like, she looks a lot younger in this one. So I wonder if this picture is like from 10 years ago versus the other picture. You know what I mean? Because she looks a lot younger in that one compared to like this one. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's who I imagined. Again, no rhyme or reason. Jean-Felix, again, I do not know why. I don't know if skin color was mentioned in the book. I know he was supposed to be French, or maybe I'm assuming he's French because his name. But I literally imagine, guys, Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show. This is literally who I imagine. He's in a show recently, The Accused. Me and my mom have been watching it. Every week is different. It's someone who's accused of a crime. And he was in an episode. And I don't know if that's why he popped up in my head, because I saw him recently. No idea. But I imagine him as Jean-Felix. If I'm even saying that right. I don't know if it's Jean-Felix or Jean-Felix. But yeah, that is who I imagined. And then for Max, so I didn't have an actual like actor in my head. I just thought of a fat, bald guy, because that's kind of how he was described. She definitely made him seem like an unattractive man, especially compared to Gabriel. That's even when you find out that he was adopted. Was he adopted or Gabriel was adopted? No, I think he was adopted. I can't remember. One of them was adopted. So you're like, okay, yeah, they look nothing alike. So it's going to sound awful, but I literally Googled fat, ugly actors. I don't even like saying that. No, I'm sorry, not ugly. I put fat, bald actors, and a bunch came up, and this is the one that like it most resembles the image in my head, and I've never seen him before, but I guess he was in The Office, and it's this guy here. I've never seen The Office. Let me see. Let me get his name for you. Brian, oh my God, I don't even say that name. Baumgartner. Do you guys see that? Yes, he's best known for playing Kevin Malone, a character in the NBC sitcom The Office from 2005 to 2013. I've never seen The Office, but I've seen many images of The Office. He's the one with the big pot of chili, right? I don't know why there was a pot of chili in The Office, but I remember that. So I think that is everything. Was that the last character? Yes. All right, so that was all the questions for this month. My poll will be closing soon. I don't know the exact date, so keep an eye on my community tab. If you haven't chosen yet and you want to, there's 10 books, 5 in one poll, 5 in the other. The 2 I recommended, the 2 Charmaine recommended, and the ones that you guys recommended down in the comments and in our Facebook group, because we do now have a book club Facebook group. I will link that down as well. I will also link Charmaine's. Definitely go watch her video. I am dying to see what she thought of this, because I know she was giddy. Like, she was reading the questions and she was like, it was so good. She's like, I have thoughts, but I can't say it. I love her. So I don't have to wait long, because I just got to watch her. It'll be here soon before I know. I'm going to go to bed. I wake up, her video is up. Sadly, I'll be at work. And I have a long work day tomorrow. Wish me luck when you guys are watching this. It is parent-teacher conference. It's my first one, and I'm literally going to be there for 12 hours. My shift, I don't technically have to be there till like 7:45, but I'm always there by like 7:15, the latest, usually 7. And parent-teacher conference goes until 7. I haven't worked a 12-hour day in over 3 years, like since I've started working out of school. You know what I mean? Last time I did a 12-hour day was in the grocery store. I mean, I'm not going to be like on my feet, so it'll be different. And the school day is done at 3, and the parent-teacher conference is until 5. So part of me is like, I could go home and then go back out, but then the other part of me is like, stay there and get stuff done. So that's exactly what I'm going to buckle down and get, because I do have like 2 meetings next week, so I got a lot to do. But yeah, wish me luck when you're watching this, and I'm hoping maybe I'll take a little break between that 5 to 7 and watch Charmaine's video. If not, when I get home, it'll be like my nighttime thing. But that is it. Like I said, all the links will be down below. I also link my Instagram. I also have my own Facebook page now for my YouTube. I have my own Twitter. So if you want to follow along, sometimes I will share like behind the scenes stuff. Definitely go follow me over there. Book club videos every Thursday. I do Mass Mondays every Monday. I do Boxing and Halts Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Vlogs on Friday, and I've been filming lots of them because I was on winter break recently. Saturday is my outfits of the week. I already changed my outfit and I forgot to film the clip. Doing bad, guys. All right, we'll have to skip a day. Sorry. And then I got home and wanted to go straight in the shower. My muscles were so sore from work. Having a week off and going back is such an adjustment, especially with a school that size. It is huge. I should keep track of my steps, because that school is huge. It has tons of stairs. Anyway, so yeah, outfits of the week on Saturday, and then Sunday is my self-care Sunday with Hope, and I've been filming clips of that. I've been loving the new content on my channel. I think you guys are liking it too. If any of that sounds good to you, definitely consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell so you're notified next time I upload. And if you like this video, you like me and Charmaine, you like book club, definitely consider following the Facebook group. Give the video a thumbs up. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm, and it will push it out into the YouTube universe. We would love for more people to sign up and join book club. Do not forget to vote. I'm super excited to see what book wins. That'll be next book club's video. It will be us announcing the next book. There's definitely some great choices for next month that I'm very excited about. That is it, guys. Be safe.